From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, July 30th, 2015. Silver is trading at $14.66 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,085 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $289. AntiWarcom reports once again seeking to reassure the Senate Armed Services Committee that the Iran deal won't get in the way of a potential U.S. attack on Iran. Secretary of Defense Ash Carter yesterday insisted the deal provides no limits to U.S. attacks and that the U.S. has such a robust amount of military force in the area they can hit anywhere in Iran at any time. Carter has repeatedly talked up the idea of the U.S. following on to the nuclear deal with a unilateral military strike on Iran for some unspecified reason and presented the notion multiple times in the week after the deal's announcement, during which he visited Israel and sought to assure them that war was still in the works. Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Martin Dempsey appeared to talk back the notion of a sudden attack, however, declaring in his own testimony that a U.S. attack on Iran would be an act of war, while going to great lengths to avoid taking a position on the wisdom of launching such a war. Dempsey and other officials also presented as part of the narrative on the deal that it makes war less likely, a talking point for the administration which doesn't seem to be sitting well with many in Congress, for whom a massive new war is an end unto itself. For over 35 years, Robertson Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and permanently removed the minimum purchase order for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 850-478-5270 or online at rrbi.co. UPI reports 3 former members of the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity at the University of Virginia filed a defamation lawsuit against Rolling Stone on Wednesday for a now retracted article the magazine published about a gang rape. In April, Rolling Stone officially retracted an article written by Sabrina Erdely, which told of the rape of a University of Virginia student identified as Jackie at a party at the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity house. Fraternity members denied any wrongdoing, and Charlottesville, Virginia police said there was no evidence to support the story. But months passed between when the story was published and when it was officially walked back. During that time, 3 former members of the fraternity said people identified them as being involved in fictitious rapes based on details in the story. George Elias IV, Stephen Hadford, and Ross Fowler filed a lawsuit Wednesday in U.S. District Court in New York, accusing Rolling Stone and Erdely of defamation. The lawsuit also names Winner Media. The lawsuit says Rolling Stone and Erdely were negligent for relying on just one source, Jackie, for the story, citing a report by the Columbia School of Journalism which called the article a journalistic failure. When her plush and comfy life suddenly and unexpectedly fell apart, Brooke and her dog Cloud set out to defy the odds. If this is a man's world, as they say, living on the streets is no place for a young woman. One day she awoke in the redwood forest and realized she had become a hobo, and would ultimately come to know exactly what it means to survive. How to Be a Hobo by Brooke Willett is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports a New York State court on Wednesday declined to release details of a grand jury investigation that led to a police officer being cleared of wrongdoing in the death of Eric Garner after his chokehold arrest in Staten Island in July last year. Lawyers for civil rights groups and New York's Public Advocate Office in June called for the release of the grand jury minutes, including transcripts of testimony, exhibits, and details of certain grand jurors to better understand the decision not to charge Officer Daniel Pantaleo for Garner's death. The lawyers did not establish a compelling reason for disclosure of the minutes, according to the Appellate Division of New York State Supreme Court. The ruling said the public interest in preserving grand jury secrecy outweighed the public interest in disclosure. Concern for the safety of grand jurors and the potential to compromise an ongoing federal investigation into the incident were also cited as reasons not to release the details. New York City earlier this month agreed to pay Garner's family $5.9 million to resolve the claim over his death. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.